Hey, good evening, and welcome to Streaming Bootcamp Podcast. This is the place you come to learn more about how to do your own podcasting, where I'm always willing to share a trick or two. Hey, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps. Today, we got a great show. I'm going to be discussing one of my favorite productivity tools, Text Expander. If you never heard of Text Expander, you're not going to want to miss this episode. I'm going to tell you all about what it is, what it can do, and how it can really speed up your flow. So let's check. I thought I'd start by showing you how Text Expander works. It's really a fantastic program. What you do is use small clippets that jump out to big sentences. Well, let me show you. Here's Text Expander, and you can kind of see these are over here are abbreviations that I've created for different. They're basically shortcuts which will expand out. So, for instance, this one is a prompt. If you've been using AI, one of the hard things is to write a prompt that's going to do most of the work behind the scenes for you. So that's kind of what I've come up with is ways of creating prompts. So bottom line is you're using this to create these small little tidbits here, these that break out into larger sections. Now, they should be something you can remember. So this one, for instance, is .yb, which means it's going to be creating a ChatGPT prompt for the next YouTube program that I'm going to do on Streaming Bootcamp. Y means it's YouTube, B means it's Bootcamp. So this is just a blank page. I'm going to put this down, .yb. As soon as I hit the B, it goes ahead and expands that out. Now, if I were just to put YB, you see nothing happens. So that's the difference with the dot. I put the .yb, and I get this full breakout. And I've got a bunch of these for all my different shows. These now, if I have to type, I'm a terrible typist. So if I had to type all that in, it would take me forever. All right, so we're going to go over to ChatGPT. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this in. And what I want to do is I'm going to give it the title for what the next episode will be for Bootcamp. And actually, I just picked up this. I picked up this DJI mini mic. I'm going to talk about that. It's kind of cool. So now I take right from there. I put my .yb, and using the DJI Mini, it throws all this other stuff in here. And let's go ahead and see what it comes up with. So we put that in, and you can see now it broke out. It gave me 3 titles. I asked it to give me 3 titles. So this would be what I would name it, whichever one I think works to be the best. I also tell it to make sure they're under 75 letters. Did I do that in here? Yeah, usually I do that for some of my other ones. So DJI Mini mic best settings for podcasters and live streamers. Mini review and tutorial, crystal clear audio for YouTube podcasts. I kind of like that one. Master the DJI Mic Mini, pro audio tips for StreamYard, Zoom, and podcasting. So either 2 or 3 would make a good title for next week's show. Now, the next thing it gives me is a description. So you have to have, if you're doing a podcast, you're going to have to fill in a description into the episode when you go and you load it up. So this would be your episode. It's great audio is more important than great video. And the DJI Mini makes it easier than ever to sound like a professional without carrying bulky equipment. In this episode of Streaming Bootcamp, host and presenter, me, shares everything content creators. So you see it's created all this nice stuff here that I did, but very simple. Here's my little non-disclosure statement. Also, it'll even come up with hashtags to kind of help promote your video. Now, here's the really cool thing. SEO and YouTube thumbnail prompt. So it actually creates the thumbnail prompt that you can go ahead and put into whatever your favorite thumbnail producing program is. I hit just new project here, and I can just ask it, take that prompt and plug that in right here. And it's going to go ahead and now you could use, Google, ChatGPT, Grok. I happen to pay for the Google Pro version so that this for me is the most sensible one. And there it is. There's my little DJI mini secrets. So that's my promo that's going to go as my thumbnail for when I put that episode together. And it actually has a little picture of what that thing looks like. If you wanted to personalize it, you could go ahead, paste that prompt, add a picture of yourself. So now you see it's added that picture of me to the prompt, and we'll go ahead and let it run this. Maybe you want it to have your picture instead of this generic guy that it created. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with. We'll see how it looks with me. We could do a whole episode on this. Kind of cool. So I like it. Personalized, it's me talking about it. So I'm definitely going to use one of those two. So again, it was nice and easy and quick. Now, we're going to talk about how you get Text Expander, but I just love this program. I use it constantly for prompting for different things that I'm going to do. So sometimes I want to make sure that I'm doing photorealistic styles, comma P, photorealistic style. So all sorts of little kind of hints that you want to use. P, this is for another program that I use, does the same thing, writes that whole description thing out. Here's something really cool. So that clicked is a prompt for a program called Euronurse News that I do, where I create these teleprompter style slide shows that I talk behind. So it tells it to create a 5-minute brief in teleprompter style, include on-screen cues like pause, emphasize, graphic here. So it gives you kind of information. So it feels even more natural for teleprompter reading. Make it 4 sections plus an intro and outro section. Create prompts for the images in each section. Create a written prompt for an optimized thumbnail on the title. Optimize for YouTube. Create SEO titles under 75 characters. Then write a long description SEO optimized for YouTube hits on my Euronurse News hosted by me, with the subscribe information, with my disclosure statement. They are for viewers are, so that's got all that information. Oh, and then finally, a teaser for tomorrow's Euronurse News. I do Euronurse News Monday through Friday. So I can take anything that I want. So you see where it stops here, it says on, and there's a space. I even put that space in there so I don't have to put it in there. So I could do it on anything that I want to take in, any article that I was reading up on. So let's just, for fun, I'm going to do this on the DJI Mini. Okay, so it gave me a description of what the DJI Mini mic is. I'm going to copy that. Now I'm going to do .nb. So you see there's my information, and right where it gave me the on, I can put all that information in there. And let's see what ChatGPT comes up for me. So remember, I asked it to create some titles. So it gave me titles again. So DJI Mac Mini Review, Best Wireless Mic for Healthcare Creators. DJI Mini Explained, Small Mic, Big Sound, Content Creators. Is the DJI Mini worth it? Features, pros, and cons reviewed. Now, it's going to create here a teleprompter script. So this is what's cool. So I can go into my slideshow and I could pump all this stuff into the notes so that I could read it like a telestrator. Good morning. It's got a little description of who I am. So this is the intro. So that would have no picture. Then what is the DJI Mini mic? Again, it goes in here. It tells me that I might want a lower third on the graphic. So some ideas when I should pause during my talking. So it's going to give me 4 slides, as we can see. And then finally, it's going to give me an outro. Now, here's the really cool thing. Image prompts, because each one of those slides, I'm going to want an image with it. So that looks like that. I can copy that, go over to my tool that I use to create those prompts, and I'm going to just change it to a 3/4 because that's the right size for filling in a slide. So you can see it created those little thumbnails here. So you can kind of go through. I made 2 for each one. So I'm going to just try to look through here and see which ones I think make the most sense. Here's my slides. Okay, so you see I got those talking points all brought in here. All right, so you can see I pasted in the down here I've got the script that I can read. And then I've got this, and this corner here is open for me to put myself into the show as a character using the camera. All right, so you can see I've got my from all that, everything was created using that particular program. So it created the scripts that I'm going to be reading. It created these pictures over here that are going to show up. So let's see what that looks like if we were to, I'm going to put this so you can see what I'm looking at. Now, the full slide is up above me on a different monitor, but this is what I look at when I'm going to record it. I hit the record button, but I've got this script up here that I can scroll through so my eyes are looking at the camera. The DJI Mic Mini is an ultra-compact wireless microphone system designed for creators who need a professional quality audio without complicated equipment. See how I was able to push that up? The system includes a tiny clip-on microphone transmitter that weighs about 10 grams. I'm not going to read the whole script through, but you get the idea. And then I'll just flip this over so you can see what actually is being broadcast. So this is what goes out to the public. So you got that really nice looking, you're in this slide. I got my backdrop working for me. And then as we go through the slides, we can see that we've got the pictures there that accompany each of those slides. And again, each of those slides had its own script. So if we just flip this back, you'll see, and there's the script for that particular slide. So really nice, simple way to utilize this particular program called Text Expander. So let's get into what is Text Expander, because that's probably the number one thing you're here tuning in for. So Text Expander is a system that will do what I was showing you. And you go to textexpander.com. You can see the website page right up there on the top. And it'll tell you all about what it is. So we can go here, talk. It'll tell you what, maybe I can get that. What is Text Expander? So again, here's the pricing. You can buy it on an individual or a business or growth. Most people, I think, will qualify for individual. If you get it annually, you're going to save money versus monthly, which would be $416. It's $333 a month. So roughly $40 a year for this Text Expander. Well worth $40, I'll tell you. Now, I got to be truthful. I'm using a version of Text Expander that I bought, I think 5, maybe 10 years ago. It's really been a long time that I've been using Text Expander. And because I bought it, I've been able to use it all along, and I had to buy the subscription plan. However, now Apple's going to be updating their software, going up to their next generation, coming up probably in September. When I upgrade, they're going to get rid of what's called Rosetta. Rosetta is a system that allows you to use older software on silicon-based Apple, which is what I own. So that means my Text Expander will no longer work, probably won't work, I'll see. So I will have to go and switch over to this system. But, I think, again, for me, it's well worth it, money well spent. So you can see what we've been doing here. So this little tidbit could be actually done on Apple for free. I'm going to copy that over here, and I'm going to bring in my system settings. So this is our system settings page. And if you go down to keyboard, Apple has something called text replacement. And I've used that in the past. You can see I've created all these text replacements. And we could actually go in here, put a little plus sign, and you want to replace that NB width and just add it. So you see it's brought it in over here, and you've got to click on that. Now, I mean, it's free. It's built into Apple, and it kind of works very similar as it would if I was just doing the text expander, which is the .nb, where it instantly text expands. So you can kind of see the difference. So, and then again, I used to use this all the time, but it makes you pick it that you want to use it. So for free, hard to argue with that. But, and it does have the advantage of sometimes you're typing something in and it'll expand it. Like if I wanted to type in the word DJI, I get Dr. Jeff Talks About Sex and Intimacy, because DJ is the abbreviation that I use for that. I've gotten around that because I make everything now with a period NB rather than just having a straight NB. So again, a free way if you have Apple, or text expander. You pick. So yeah, those are some really great productivity tools. Again, I tend to think that it's probably worth the little extra money to buy the text expander, just because it pops everything in and it just works really well that way. There is some other things that I didn't go into that text expander does allow that you don't get when you use the built-in one with Apple, the text replacement. You can actually format it so that you can tell it what's size you want the font to be, what family, what family of font, do you want it always to be a New Times font? So you get to pick your font, the size of your font. You can actually put pictures in it. There's a lot of new things that came since the update, which I haven't even looked at. So once I do update mine, I may do another talk about this, because those updates I think are going to be some things that are kind of nice too. I think they fill out forms and things like that. But anyway, look into it. I advise it. And then, as I was mentioning when I was talking about all this stuff, that next month I'm going to come in and we're going to talk about this DJI. I bought that as a trial to see how this would work, because I'm going to be going to a conference where I'm going to be doing interviews. And the way I've done interviews in the past is I've got a microphone and I've got one that I hand out to whoever I'm interviewing. So we both have nice microphones similar to this. They're Shure microphones, and it really gives good quality sound. Especially these are going to be interviews taking place inside of a hall, an exhibit hall, and it's a lot of sound and noise that come in because of that. But when I'm traveling, or the next conference I'm doing is in Vegas, so I've got to haul all this equipment by plane. I decided I wanted to try something smaller, so I'm going to show you this DJI next month, because it's nice and small, and I think the quality, I've been monkeying with it, and I think the quality is pretty darn good. So tune in next month to learn more about the DJI. Check out Text Expander. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And hey, if you've got something you want me to talk about, put it in the comments. I'll always look at my comments too. So with that, we'll see everybody next month on the bootcamp, Streaming Bootcamp at rotkiv.com. Rotkiv.com. ROTCIV. Is that right? I don't think so. I think it's rotkiv.net. I'm going to check it out real quick. It is .net. Geez, I don't even know my own addresses. Rotkiv.net is the place to go to find Streaming Bootcamp. We'll see everybody in a month, so be sure to stay with it and see you next month.